Welcome back and thanks for staying with the agenda. Now, the founding president of Zambia, His Excellency Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, has died aged 97. As different leaders reflect on the many sides of KK, as he was affectionately called, our next guest remembers time with him on the soccer fields and also being part of the KK11, a national team that played in honor of the departed leader. Kalusha Bwalya is the 8th most capped Zambian soccer player and one of the most recognized soccer players in the world. Thank you so much for making the time to talk to us today, Kalusha.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
We told you you're back home. Can you give us a sense of the mood in the country following the passing of Umkhulu?
Yeah, thank you. I think it was very disheartening for everybody that have known the family of Kenneth Kaunda, and also the big man himself, a great statesman, a liberator, and great freedom fighter. So yesterday when we heard the news, it was very, very sad. So we passed our sincere condolences to the family of Kenneth Kaunda. But I think we should also celebrate his life. Myself, I was entirely grateful that I was born and lived the era of KK when Zambia did get independence and growing up and cheering him on when we were young, when we were at primary school, when we had to line up that the president was coming. So yeah, I feel that he has lived a great life. He did everything for us, and like you have mentioned later, we were able to interact, especially when I came to the Zambian national soccer team because of his love for football. So I joined in 1983, and we were famously known as the KK11, and so this was wonderful moments.
Yeah, I want to take you back to what you said about growing up in a Zambia that was led by Kenneth Kaunda, and as a young person, just give us a sense of those times, that sense of occasion and looking forward to a bright future, and some of the promises that perhaps were never kept, not necessarily by him, but just by history.
Yeah, I think that he had a great impact, immense impact on all of us as young people. Like I said, he was a statesman. His presence was felt. He used to travel everywhere, visit us, do all the developmental project in Zambia. And one thing was very good speaker, very charismatic, man of principle, and always preaching unity. I think in the time that we were growing up, you saw that he was always the chairman of the frontline states. So he wanted that all Southern Africa, he fought for the liberation of all of Southern Africa, and most of the people that you have seen as leaders, for example, in the ANC, used to spend a lot of their time in Zambia. That was their base. So yeah, he was an accommodating man, and I think Zambia harbored a lot of freedom fighters from Angola, from Namibia, from Mozambique, from Zimbabwe, and from South Africa. So that was the stature of the man. And, so growing up, you had that sense that he was very well respected, and he had a selfless dedication to Zambia and to the rest of Africa.
In your tribute to Dr. Kaunda, you mentioned the numerous times that you got a chance to play soccer together. Tell us about those times.
No, I think that the KK, from by tradition, when the Zambian national soccer team was playing the KK11, whether it is at the Dag Hammarskjöld Stadium in Ndola or the Independence Stadium in Lusaka, he would give the kickoff. And, the referees were told that it was protocol, that the game would not start if the KK doesn't touch the ball. So he'll come in his familiar with the white handkerchief, and then afterwards the referee will move to the center of the field, and then he'll go there. Then the referee will throw the ball to him, and he'll try and dribble a bit, and then he'll shoot the ball. So he always made an overstep. That was his trademark move. a la Cristiano Ronaldo, I think. And so he would do that, and it was just wonderful. But it broke the ice. For us, it was a serious game, and for him, it was his passion. His passion was the sport and Zambia, and he wanted us to succeed. And God knows how many teams he has built over the years. He developed so many teams in his time as the president of the Republic of Zambia. And so that is why, for me, I was extremely pleased that he was present in 2012 when Zambia got its chance through the Christopher Katonga-led team and Hevrena, that we were able to lift the Africa Cup of Nations, because I think, and he was present, and I think it shed tears of joy because he had built so many teams in his time, and yet now in his heyday, he was able to get his hand on that elusive trophy, I would call it. So it was a fantastic feeling for me, having come from being a player in the KK11 and being there present when Zambia won.
Yeah. Long after he could no longer move his feet or put his feet on the ball, you still interacted with him. We've actually got some pictures that we've been showing of you and him that we're putting up, recent pictures. When there was no longer soccer to play or talk about, what was fueling your interactions with him?
I think mostly is the stories of resistance. Of never giving up, of how he had started and was able, to represent not only Zambia, the country before independence. So those are the stories that one would want to hear. How is it was possible that he was able to stand his ground? The famous story that, in the old days, in the colonial days, the people had to buy. The white people had to go through inside of the shop, and the black people had to buy through a small space. And then you buy your groceries and they'll give you all of it. So he went and bought a bicycle. And then he asked the people, when they wanted to bring it through the door, he said, no, why don't you put it through this space that we have? So that you can take the bicycle out. And he was that kind of man, spirited. And they refused to accept the bicycle, through the door, because they said, we as Africans, or Zambians, we are only buying the space through this space. So those are kind of stories and many more that, told you how, first of all, humble and dedicated and disciplined he was in order for him to be president and to be president for such a long time.
Yeah. It's COVID-19 times, and Zambia is concerned about the numbers of infections in that country. But are you going to be taking part at all in processes leading up to the funeral?
Oh, I think that the family and the cabinet and through our able leadership, through President Edgar Chagwalungu, they will be sitting today to write out the program for the funeral. So we, keeping our ears open, and I'm sure they will inform us what is going to happen, because we have the 21 days of mourning.
With the departure of people of his generation, he's been said to be the last one standing. People such as yourselves are now left to fill up that leadership vacuum. What are your thoughts? We classify you as Zambian, but you've spent time in South Africa. You're an international citizen. What are your thoughts about, especially here in South Africa, we're marking Youth Month, your thoughts about Africa, the way forward for Africa in just reviving our economies and bringing Africa alive again?
No, I think that through the able leadership that we have, the young Africans today, they have so many things at hand. They can they get to know the news from near and far through social media and television, of course. So it's very easy for them to know what is happening abroad and within their area. Most important, I think we should be dedicated. We should lead the examples of the forebearers. Go back to basics. Peace, preach peace, unity, togetherness. That is what we need. I think there's so much at hand in the world today that there's also so many divisions. Also, there are people who want to bring a division, so we should be careful because these borders, this is Africa. We are all as one. We are all born here, and we should be united. I think that you see all over the world that the question of race and the question of well-being of ourselves, especially in this COVID, is paramount. So I want to say that we stay healthy and just follow the right path and set out a goal that we can be able to reach.
Our condolences once again, and thank you so much for making the time to talk to us today.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Kalusha Bwalya, who is a soccer legend from Zambia, but known all over the continent and all over the world.